This is the Sean Campbell Show, a podcast for the aspiring and hungry entrepreneur.
Hey everybody, it's Sean Campbell, the Sean Campbell Show, a podcast by entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurs. And today I want to expand a little bit about having, your more of a omnipresence across your social media platforms and your digital world. So we touched about it a little bit last week, but we didn't really get into specifically how you could accomplish that. This podcast in itself is a way, that I'm accomplishing it because I'm using this content, this next 10 to 12 minutes, hopefully, to not only produce this video, but this video is also going to go on my podcast, the audio part of this, I should say. And the video is going to be placed on my IGTV and across Facebook and on my YouTube as well. So by investing my 10 to 12 minutes here, this is exactly the process that I do. I take this video, I already have a clip for my intro and my outro that I customize the intro for. I basically put them together. I drop the video into my Anchor, my platform, my podcast, and it extracts the audio part out of it. So then my podcast is taken care of. From my podcast, I'm able to share it on my Twitter account. I also can upload it to my YouTube and share that to LinkedIn if I want to try to get more subscribers to my LinkedIn. I also upload it directly to each one of my business pages, my Campbell Marketing Group and my podcast, the Sean Campbell Show business page on Facebook. So you see in creating this one podcast, right, in which I talk about entrepreneurship, I talk about marketing, I talk about motivation, different aspects all centered around running a business essentially and promoting and marketing your business. I'm purposing this content right here across 2 business pages for Facebook, my Instagram, one of my Instagram pages for my podcast itself, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So that's 8 different platforms, 8 different areas in which I'm broadcasting this particular content. So it's that omnipresent, that presence across different social platforms, and each area, I'm hopefully there's probably a little bit of overlap from my LinkedIn to my people who like my business pages on Facebook to the people who follow me on Instagram. And the more overlap, honestly, that's pretty good for me because it's more of an open audience, more of a potential to reaching a higher number of people. Not to mention the people who listen to my podcast or on Twitter. Across them all, and by no means am I saying that I'm big on, I try to be big on social, but am I like influencer big time status? No, but I probably have, just off the top of my head, 30 to 35,000 people following me across each one of those. I got maybe about 8,500 on LinkedIn, maybe a little bit less, about 14,000 on Twitter, a couple thousand following one of my business pages, 6,000 on one of my Instagrams. So that there's a potential to reach a lot of people. Not to mention, if I get a really good response, and I'm going to maybe boost it or promote it a little bit across Facebook a little bit, or on Instagram. If I could make a little bit of a teaser on this to promote it on my IGTV or something. But you see, I'm using this one piece of content and multi-purposing it across different social platforms, reaching potential, people in my audience that could become strategic partners or clients, but really just kind of wanting myself to build up, more important for me, and I've touched upon this last week a little bit, it's more important for me to get on base, so to speak, to get a base hit or a walk or get a hit by a pitch, and just keep that carousel of base runners going, so to speak, rather than always trying to hit home run. And I was thinking about a comment that was made to me last week that was kind of relayed to me from somebody that we used to collaborate with a little bit, but the person kind of mentioned that they didn't like collaborating with me because I thought too small. Okay, here I am putting this, this piece together for you. I'm putting it on all kinds of different platforms. I wish I could really share with you how many different states that have clients in. It's more than just a handful, or how many clients that I have. It's more than just a handful. And it's because of this methodical get on base, brand awareness, impressions, I want to be seen everywhere type of approach. Whereas this other person really wanted to hit, home run every time up to bat. Well, as you try to hit home runs, there's, people in general that are big time home run hitters tend to strike out a lot too. The people that get on base have a higher batting average, a higher on base percentage, and you're going to score more runs. It's the same philosophy really as today's modern baseball, where general managers and managers are implementing lineups to where people get on base, and your on base percentage is more important than anything else. Obviously the home run is valued, and there's different types of batters and different types of a lineup, but think of your business as putting together a lineup. I want batters that are going to get on base and put pressure on the defense, and that are going to work the pitcher and work the defense and grind it out, and at the end of the game, every evening you win. You simply score more runs versus the person who's always trying to hit the home run time and time and time again. So, I'm playing small ball, and that directly relates to my idea of being across as many applicable platforms. Now, I'm not on Pinterest. There's no reason for me to be on Pinterest. I'm not on TikTok because I just don't have the personality for it, even though there's arguments that I should be anyway. But across all my platforms that I am on, I want to be consistent. I want to continue to provide the content. To me, there's no reason for me to be on TikTok if I'm only going to be on there every once in a while. It just doesn't make sense. And again, I don't have the personality or the dance moves to be on TikTok anyway. So I said TikTok. Sorry about that. But that's the idea, to be perceived as if you're everywhere all the time. And I get that all the time. Even during this, the coronavirus and the quarantine and everything else, I'm still being told all the time, Sean, it seems like you're everywhere doing stuff all the time. You're always doing this, you're always doing that. Well, the secret is I'm investing 10 to 12 minutes doing a video. I've invested in the right program so I could put this together in a few minutes, and I put it across all my platforms. So, it takes, obviously the fundamentals, the hustle, the mindset, the motivation, the determination, staying on schedule, the time management, all that other stuff. And after you've accomplished all that stuff, thinking of different ways to do this, to be everywhere all the time. So that's how I do it. I'm just kind of giving you the formula or something that you could start off in a nutshell. You could do a video, you could repurpose it, you could put it on, use Anchor, and it'll simply, extract the audio from the video. I have the same intro and outro, and I just put them together. And it literally takes me, after I do this and download it on my Google Drive and upload it, about less than 10 minutes total to place it across all those different platforms. One thing I could do better is maybe schedule this out so it kind of staggers a little bit, so it's not just all out there at once. So I think I'm going to do that. It's a good idea. So, but that's it. That's how I do it. That's how I try to create that omnipresence, across all my platforms. And, obviously it's not just this video one time, but I'm posting content across all the platforms as well. So, and trying to be seen, as much as possible. So, cross marketing and promoting yourself, talking about, how this is going to be on IGT, but listen to me on my Anchor, The Sean Campbell Show, available on Google and Apple and Spotify and elsewhere. Or you could follow me on YouTube, the Campbell Marketing Group, my YouTube channel. So, again, I'm just kind of promoting the different stuff, telling everybody where I'm at, creating that content, creating that value, and creating a library across all platforms. So if people want to listen to me on, as a podcast, it's there. People like watching YouTube, I'm there. People are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even Twitter. So everywhere, and it's all based off, a lot of it's based off just finding that content or creating a content like this and presenting it. And by no means, it's not easy the first few times you're doing it, but after you get kind of your system down to find the right programs to utilize and put them all together, then it becomes a little bit of a machine. So that's how I do it. Then that's the, and again, I should really, I didn't state this enough in this video, but the reason brand impressions, increase your brand awareness, again, it takes almost about 20 times before someone sees you or hears you somewhere, before they really recognize your brand and who you are and what you're all about, especially during this era, during COVID and quarantine and everything else. How else are you getting your brand out there if you're not doing something like this? If you've noticed, I've really stepped this up, and I'm producing the video and my podcast and putting this on YouTube every single day now, because I'm stuck here in my office by myself, for 80 hours a week. Not too many people come by and see me, which is okay with me. I get to sit here and work and not have to shave. But how are you making those impressions? How are you getting your brand out there? How are you keeping yourself top of mind? Someone does need your services, you're the first person they think of. So if you have any questions, you can always message me, whether on Facebook, Instagram, through Twitter, however you want to. You can email me at sean@cmgsocialmedia.com if you have any questions. Shoot me a message, or there's something that you want to talk about. If you want to be a guest, let's do this. Promote your story, promote your brand, tell me what you're all about, and let's put together something, and let's get you on, let's increase your brand awareness. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you for listening to The Sean Campbell Show. Follow us on Instagram at The Sean Campbell Show.